Hello, alright, so this is going to be a video on how to utilize radar and how to properly dogfight and avoid incoming missiles. So first things first, make sure you got your pilot's loadout. Once you've got that, let's hop on in to whatever plane we're going to be flying. For this, it'll be the F-16 since this is simplest. Alright, once you're inside, open up AMS, at least that's what I would recommend. You could either come over here and individually select the weapons you want on your pylons, or you can come over to the preset manager, load, typically cap is going to be the one that you'll utilize for a default air-to-air loadout, although you can add other things onto it as well, primarily this HTS pod. This is an electronic countermeasure, which basically just jams incoming missiles. Doesn't guarantee that it always does it, but will do it on some occasions, so it is useful. Other than that, feel free to go through and play around with this. I would typically recommend changing it so at least when you've got these AIM-9Xs, that you upgrade them to have at least 4 of them here. This will tell you exactly how many you get per. The AIM-120s, you can only get one of, at least using the AMS system. If you can utilize ACE, then I'd recommend going into that and changing it and getting up to the 3 or 4 AIM-120s per pylon. I'm going to be using a SEED loadout, which is which has anti-radiation missiles to attack longer-ranged radar-based targets. Once you've figured out your pylons, you're going to want to come over here and click Apply. This will then go through and change the pylons over to be equipped with the proper weapons. As well as this maintenance button will have a option to automatically refuel and rearm your, refuel, repair your plane, and then the apply button will simply rearm your plane if you want to utilize the same weapons. Now that you're all set up and ready to go flying, what you're going to want to do is turn on your engine, let the cabin come down. You're going to want to throttle up to about 10-ish% to get the wheels going. Although you can do a little bit more. Make sure you don't clip your wing on anything. Come on over here and get yourself all settled in for takeoff. You're going to want to throttle down. Come over either using the scroll wheel to do flaps down, or you can use control scroll wheel and control scroll down, and that will change your flaps. And if you do control scroll wheel up, it'll disengage flaps. Once you're here, check that your flaps are down. You can utilize the enter button and check that your flaps are in fact down. And then once you're ready, hold down shift, and that will throttle up, and this will be taking you off. You don't want a hard bank, you want to just kind of tap the S key, and voila, there you go, you're on the tail strike. So once you're up, you want to do control R, which will turn on your radar. So with the radar on, if you were to switch over to, let's say, these AIM-8Xs that I have, you can now start to engage radar contacts. In this case, each weapon will have different engagement ranges. So for instance, these AIM-8Xs are short range, which you'll see by the SR acronym. These have an engagement range of about 5 kilometers, so you have to get within 5 km in order to be able to accurately engage. Whereas with these HARMs, these are long range anti-radiation missiles, which means that they will lock onto active radar or passive radar within a range of about approximately 14 to 16 kilometers. Now, I'm going to spawn in some enemy covenant real fast, and I'll teach you how to dogfight, as well as how to dodge incoming missiles. Alright, welcome back. So now you'll see that on our radar, we do in fact have some contacts that are popping up. So these are being engaged with either radar, typically in this case. Other times, if you've got IR or infrared missiles, they can also pop up. So you'll now see that we're closing in with these targets. You'll see that I now have a lock, and you'll hear that beeping. I can now fire a missile and engage. Now you'll see that I'm now getting engaged by a missile. You can see it on radar. You want to do a quick high G turn, full burn, and then you can do Control-C to change the type of flares that are going to be popped, and then you can either outrun the missiles depending on how fast you're going. You'll see that I'm actually outmaneuvering the missiles, and that I'm going to be able to outpace them, and they will fall short of hitting me. Otherwise, as you'll see in a bit, I'll turn back around to try and see if I can get the missiles to engage me again. It seems like they're not. It looks like I'll outrun these, so I'll do another pass over them. Now, if I wanted to, and I was really concerned about the missiles still hitting me, what I could do is I could do a burst of flares, but it looks like I'm not going to have to worry about that. So instead, let me come up here, and you'll see that I now have 2 radar contacts I'm now being locked onto again. That's the orange indicator, means that you're being locked onto. So let's see if I can get them to engage me again with some missiles. Maybe not. Maybe I've just outmaneuvered them. Alright, so that's flak that we're getting hit with. You can see there. So that just means you want to increase altitude, and you want to keep maneuvering. You don't want to be going in a straight line, although keep in mind that maneuvering will decrease your speed. Totally did not think to have to do that. Whoops. But broadly speaking, your best bet to avoid getting hit by missiles is to do a high G turn as well as pop flares. If you want to pop flares, you can press C, and you'll see that it'll do a burst of flares. If you're ever getting locked by a missile and you're out of flares, your best bet is to decrease altitude, or to throw on the afterburner fuel on the scroll wheel, which will engage the afterburner, which will give you a significant speed boost in which you can either outrun the missiles, or you can maneuver kill the missiles by flying close to the ground and using the mountains to your advantage to have the missiles possibly run into them if they're coming from over them. But it is important to remember that you need to identify first where the missiles are coming from, because obviously if they're coming from inside of this valley and you're flying directly over them, obviously it will kill you, but if they're on a mountaintop, then you can use the mountains to your advantage. If you've got any other questions, feel free to let me know in the Discord. Otherwise, good luck flying, soldiers. See you on Saturday.